Okay. Okay. We're live now, but friend, what's your name?
Jammarl Shakor.
Okay. What institution are you from? Okay. Why don't you share some of your concerns and some of the things you think need to be changed?
I feel like this whole system needs a reform because I feel like I have a big thing with the rehabilitation part of corrections.
Right.
I feel like there's no chance in getting rehabilitation in here. This is no different than a rehabilitation spot for like drugs or something like that. They wouldn't just put drug addicts or alcoholics in a system like this in a rehab center and not try to make them better. And they're not providing us with anything to make us better. They're not even giving us a second chance to get better.
Yep.
They just put us in here. This is more corrections than it is rehabilitation. That's my issue.
Right, and I think more states are doing that now. They're just warehousing people and not rehabilitating people like they need to.
Yeah, and not even giving you a second chance if you are trying to rehabilitate yourself.
Right,
I
it's
feel like
yeah.
if you do come to prison, you should be, rehabilitation shouldn't be an option. If you're here to be corrected, rehabilitation is attached to it.
Right,
If
and
you are rehabilitated, you get a second chance at
right,
life.
right, and some of us it took more chances, but you know I've been out 10 years now, so I must have learned something. You know, that I was able to apply to my life. What programs do they have up there that are helpful?
Say that again, sir. You're breaking up.
Yeah, what programs do they have up there that are helpful?
As of right now, in this institution, there's really nothing.
Huh.
I mean, you can take a GED, but what about all the people that taken the GED and then passed it? Like, I got my GED when I first came to prison back in '02. So since then, it's like they had little groups that we can get into that ran by inmates. There's nothing ran by the state of Ohio to help us at all. Nothing.
Yeah, that is kind of sad. They have all this money for programming, knowing the governor did take some away, but they still have money, and they're supposed to program people at each institution, no matter what level of security it is.
Yeah, I know that. There's nothing.
Do you have college there?
Excuse me, sir.
Do you have a college there?
Well, right now they're trying to bring in just a little thing right here on the little showcase, like the little showcase that they had talking about. They are trying to do the Ashland University,
Right.
but I don't know. I mean, it's like I said, it's optional if you want to try it. It's not like there's nobody. It's just posted up, and if you want to, I don't even know who you talk to about if you're interested. Like, I'll be interested, but don't know where to go about it.
What are some of the vocational programs they have there?
Like I say, outside of they got masonry thing here. I think that's it. I mean, they might have AA, or I don't know if that'll be called vocational or what. I know they got that schooling for GED.
Right.
That's about it.
Right. And I have always thought that they have all these vocational classes so that they can put you to work with the institutions.
Excuse me, sir, I couldn't hear you.
I think one reason they have all these vocational classes is so they could get cheap labor from you guys to work at the institutions. Did you hear? Okay, that's okay. What I was saying is I think that they have all these vocational classes, not so much for the street, but so that they could put you to work in the institutions so they don't have to pay expensive people to do the work.
Yeah, more likely.
Yeah. Very smart business people. They're smart business people, but I'm not saying it's fair because it's not.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what's going on. Like, there's, like I said, everything should be this. Like I said from the beginning, if you are sent here to be corrected and rehabilitated, I believe they go hand in hand. If you got to be corrected, rehabilitation is connected to being corrected.
Right.
If that's the case, they'll just send you back out there, and if you mess up again, we'll just correct you. If you mess up
Right.
again, we'll just correct you. That's what's going on.
Right. Yeah, you know.
That's exactly what's going on.
How long have you been at that institution?
Sir,
How long have you been at that institution?
2 years now.
What was the reason they transferred you there?
Well, I came to this one to get closer to home.
Okay. Where? Yeah.
I was at Mansfield prior to this.
Okay. When do you? So you're level 3 right now, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When do you go back up for security review?
I believe it's in April next year.
Well, I'm hoping they lower your security level so that you can, start really programming like you should.
Yeah. Well, like I said, like I told you before, I'm trying to start a group here so I can probably, it's the NAACP, but hopefully I can get the outside, the chapter out there on the streets that assist us so we can give proper classes or proper things for people that can help.
Right, right. It takes the inmates to be part of our movement so that things can actually change.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I mean, people need help here. Like, I don't believe the proper help is being
right. It's
given
yeah.
as far as the prison.
Right. It seems like once you get released, you can lose your first rights amendment, which you should never do. Freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom of expression. Seems like all those are taken away.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
It definitely is. And they send you back out there with nothing. They take everything from you in here. They'll take everything from you out there, and they don't want you to do right. Where when nobody has been properly, like I say, rehabilitated, nobody has been.
right. And I personally think the only way people can actually change is by putting it in their own mind that change is what's needed, or they're going to keep coming back to prison as we see the revolving door of 40% of our people are doing 2 years or less.
Of course, that's what exactly like I keep saying, going back to the rehabilitation, like you wouldn't take an alcoholic, you just put them in there and expect them to clean themselves up. People have to be motivated into change.
Right.
It just doesn't come. If that's the case, wouldn't nobody commit crimes? Wouldn't nobody be alcoholics? Wouldn't nobody be drug addicts? They wouldn't just stay that way.
Right.
They let it change on their own will. Some people need to be helped.
And you're correct on that. And I think it has to start with us, to really push for rehabilitation and convince people to a get out plan is great, but if you don't have a stay out plan, what good is the get out plan?
Exactly.
Oh.
And don't look for this place to help you with that either.
No, I think I'm friends with a lady that's an expert somewhat on putting together a pro packet, which she's going to be teaching people's loved ones how to do it or how she did it, to help them out. So when you get ready for the pro board, you need to let us know and have your family member contact me, and we can work with her.
I just currently went to the pro board in November 17, but I'm trying to, because I feel like I was done wrong. So I'm still right now currently trying to fight to try to get them to at least come back and give me another hearing. They say now I can petition to see if they'll come back every year and have that hearing again.
Right.
I mean, I'm looking for that too. Like, I would like to get any kind of support or any kind of help with somebody that can get to these people to let them know, because there was no reason to give me 7 years at the parole board.
No. I think the parole board goes over it, and they keep using a nature offense. They don't really necessarily recognize the programming or the support team. And I tell the men in the prisons is to find 5 men on your support team, people that you can trust. They can be ex-offenders, but they had to at least be out a few years and changed. And I think that's very important. I don't care how strong you are, you're still going to need a support team when you get out. I still have one. And believe me, I call them daily sometimes. Right. Because it's not easy for us when we get out. Even I've been out 10 years now. And there's times where, you just say to yourself, I give up. And then, 5 minutes later, you realize you can't because you came this far.
It's hard. I understand. I mean, I haven't experienced it yet. But like I said, I almost got 20 years in here. I've seen a lot of people leave and come back a lot.
Right. Your sentence is 15 to life, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you've already done almost 5 years over your minimum.
Yes, sir.
Well, you are the people that we really need to help and help get out, because after you hit your minimum, if you have your conduct proves it. And I'm not talking about fighting, because when you're in prison, you're going to protect yourself or your belongings. I'm talking about those that commit new felonies should not be, those are the ones that maybe they should keep, but not you guys that really have proven yourselves.
Yeah. I mean, even nowadays, it's not like this prison stuff, it's not getting better, but it's not as bad as it used to be.
Right.
Like you can make it, like I say, I got almost 20 years, I don't have no violence on my case or anything. I'm on my institutional record or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, you can make it without.
Right. Well, when you get out, do you have a place that you're going to go? Yeah. Do you have a place you're going to go to when you get out?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I got a girlfriend that supports me.
Awesome. Yeah. Did you? Yeah.
I mean, I got a few people that do support me pretty good.
Yeah. Do you want to call back or?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
okay. Okay. Give us a call back, brother. Okay. Thanks. That's a gentleman from Youngstown Correctional. I believe that's one of the institutions that's half federal, half state. So they have federal inmates. At one time, it was all federal until some inmates escaped. And it took them a little bit of time to find them. That had to be about 15 years ago now. So the state took over half. So when people don't think we have a federal prison in Ohio, we actually have 2. But the one in Youngstown is partly federal. And you heard what he was talking about, the programming and the lack of programming. And this is a closed facility, but they're still supposed to be offering programming for these guys so they can work on their behavior modification skills and the cognitive, skills. And you heard basically after GED, that's pretty much it. They have one vocational class in masonry. So it's kind of sad, though. But
hello, this is a prepaid debit call from.
Okay, he's calling right back.
This is a call from an inmate at the Northeast Ohio Correctional Complex. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press 1.
Okay.
Hello, this is a prepaid debit call from.
Let's see.
This is a call from an inmate at the Northeast Ohio Correctional Complex. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press 1. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Good.
Thank you for using Global Link.
Okay, you're back, brother.
Okay, yeah.
So, how many inmates are at your camp?
Hold on, it's messing up right now. I can't even hear you.
Oh, that's okay. How many inmates do you have at your camp?
Right at this one?
Yes.
It's like roughly like between like 800 or 900 or something like that. Maybe close to 1,000. I don't know exactly.
Okay, and
Something like that.
the camp's broken down into half federal and half stateside, correct?
Sure.
The institution is cut down the middle, half federal and half state, correct?
Yeah, half federal, half state, and half ICE.
Okay, so it's kind of a unique situation for anybody in the state prison, though. It's kind of a different situation for anybody in the state prison because we're not used to being around federal prisoners and stuff like that.
It's all separated though. We don't interact with others. We don't interact amongst each other at all.
Right, that's what I kind of figured. But you would think a camp your size would have more programming available, and I think that's something we need to work on, though.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, what would we be here for? Like I said, that's just like a waste of time. And they be quick to worry about all of the fights or all of the gang stuff that goes on.
Right.
And if you give these guys something to do instead of worrying about
Right.
what could happen or the negative part of this stuff, instead of giving us something to do. Like I say, it's more punishment than it is rehabilitation.
Right.
All day long.
Right.
All day long. 'Cause all they look for is what's going to go on or what's going to happen. And the more that they take from us, they take so much from us on a daily basis. Like now, I don't know if you heard, we were having fundraisers every month in the state of Ohio. They claim some guy got sick in another institution. And now, fundraisers are dead.
Why did they get? Yeah.
Somebody getting sick.
Why did they get sick? Aramark has done all the fundraisers. Aramark's done the fundraisers now. Why? I mean, so they're to blame.
Like here they'll let it outside. We can order from like Pizza Hut
Oh.
and places like that.
Oh,
But
that.
now,
Yeah.
this one guy gets sick in another institution.
Right.
I guess I don't know if it was due to salmonella. I don't know exactly what happened. But it happened, and now, over the state of Ohio, now all fundraisers with hot meals are over with now.
That's sad too because they were doing a good job raising money to get to give to charity, knowing the state got a good kickback. They're not going to do anything without a kickback. So, they were donating to some positive charities, but the state always gets a kickback from everything that is earned.
Yeah, because that's where with the group I was trying to run that WCP will use fundraising that way help us with supplies for our classes and do stuff for our members and stuff like that. But now it's looking like we're not gonna be able to do that now because, and then we still donate because it's nonprofit. We'll donate X amount out to whatever little group out there on the streets or whatever, whatever we can just to give back. That would be more of us giving back. That's a part of rehabilitation, if you ask me.
Right.
For now, for one person to get sick, to cut all of that out.
Huh. It's sad. Yeah, it seems like everybody gets punished. It's just like if one person does something wrong, they punish the whole population.
Everybody, that's exactly. That's how I feel about the parole board. When I went to the parole board, I can't speak for, because one of the reasons they were talking about said one of their little responses was, if they were to give me a parole, that wouldn't deter other inmates. That would make other inmates feel like they can do whatever they want to do. In so many words, that's what it meant.
Right.
If they gave me a parole, that would show other inmates that they can do whatever they want and they'll still get a parole. I don't stand for the next inmate. Or the other inmate doesn't stand for me.
Right. And this had to be your second time up, right?
First time. When I go back in 2024, that'll be my second time.
Okay.
Of course, I won't see the same people I seen the first time. And if these next group of people want to feel however they want to feel and give me another flop, then now I'm at another flop, and I could possibly turn in this.
Yeah.
The life in 30 years.
Well, let's pray. Let's pray that don't happen. And I know that there's so many people that care about you guys that are going to continue to fight for you guys, so you get a fair chance for release as you deserve it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that.
I mean,
I try to do everything like I'm not one of those that come in here and just get in there and did everything, and because I wouldn't have my GED coming in here. I done work plenty of times in here. I try to do whatever I can do to do right.
right. But yeah, and that,
Like I say, there's not too many people that's gonna think the way I think. That's why I feel like that should be a part of doing time. You have to show rehabilitation. You should be evaluated from every 90 days or every 6 months, or to see where progress is at.
right.
Just like when I went to the parole board and didn't even get a psych evaluation. You talk about somebody that was 18 years old when I got my case. I was 36 when I went to the parole board. I'm over double the age. You can't even class me as that 18-year-old that was making them decisions back then and get themselves tied up in this situation.
Right. I'm a firm believer. I don't care what anybody's done in their past. I don't, because I have a bad past. But I do believe people can change if they choose to do so.
Yeah, of course.
So,
That's the choice, though.
right.
I feel like if you want to give anybody anything as far as this correction thing, the part of correction should be the rehabilitation.
Right. It's horrible, and it's really horrible how you guys are being treated. Medical, the food, the staff members. You guys go through a lot every day. But I said you guys go through a lot of abuse every day.
Yeah, every day. I mean, if you're not strong enough mentally, this will destroy you. And then they'll mess around and try to put you on psych meds, and
Right.
there's no proper care here.
Right.
I mean, I understand.
Right.
We done wrong.
Right.
We done wrong, and we put ourselves here.
Well, if you could, if there's anybody okay, go ahead.
With the proper help, along the way during the time, people can become better.
Yeah. If there's anybody on here that is able to help you in some of the situations up there, what are the guys up there needing help with?
Say that again, sir.
If somebody wanted to help you guys up at Youngstown through either letters or writing the ODRC, what is some of the help that you guys need?
To be honest with you, Mr. Cronenberger, anything would help. Anything that would, because there's absolutely nothing here.
Right. Now, if you could state your name and ID number and institution so someone could put you on the JPay if they would like to.
Excuse me, sir.
If you could mention your name, ID again, in case if somebody would like to add you to their JPay. If you could just mention that again.
Okay. My institutional number is 407 466. My last name is Shakor.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard name to pronounce. And I'm a person.
Shakor.
Yeah, yeah. I think your first name is even harder.
You said his first name is harder?
For me, it is.
Jammarl?
Oh, that okay. I'm looking at somebody else's first name. So,
And the institution is Northeast Ohio Correctional Center.
and that's in Youngstown.
Yes, sir.
Well, I encourage our listeners to take these videos seriously, and let's pray for these guys. Let's encourage them. And when something is being done unfair, I encourage people to send emails to who they need to and write letters and make phone calls for these guys. They are human. They might have made mistakes, some bigger than others and some innocent, but they all need our assistance.
I really appreciate what you're doing, Mr. Cronenberg, and I really believe in you. And like I said, anything I can do to help.
Well,
I'm here.
Well, I think the biggest help you can do is spread the word that we are not going to give up on you guys.
Definitely, that's no problem. I always do that. Since I've met you, I've always let people know that. I'll always be like, do the most looking up and researching. Ever since we talked, I definitely do that. That's not a problem.
Well, we appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah.
Say that again, sir.
We're going to cut this video down now because I'm at a half hour. But we're going to encourage people to keep in contact with you guys and encourage you especially because it's not easy during time like that. I know.
Yeah. It's definitely tough.
It is.
Definitely tough.
And my heart's with you guys because you guys are my people. You know.
Like I say, I'm here with you too, Mr. Cronenberg. Like anytime you need me, I'm here.
Well, you could call me Jim because Mr. Cronenberg makes it sound like I'm old as I am. You can call me Jim.
But it's more of a respect thing.
Right, but it also makes me feel like I'm old. Well, I am. I guess I am. I go in looking like a 13-year-old kid. I came out looking like an old man. So.
I mean, I think that's just what you think. I think that you still got it. I mean, to put in the work that you put in now, that's not an old person.
Right. Well.
That's not an old person.
Well, let's get the job done. Let's help you guys come home by changing laws. And then you guys can get involved helping others out as there's some trying to help you out.
Say that again, sir. Like you're still breaking up. I can hear you a little bit, but
Right. Well, let's continue to work together. We want to help you guys get a fair hearing and the proper medical. And then when you guys get out, maybe you could help someone else.
yeah, for sure. That's definitely a plan. Given the opportunity to get a second chance, I would never just get out of here and forget about where I come from. Like,
You have 1 minute remaining.
Right. Well,
I would definitely do all I can to help other people.
that's awesome. And make sure you keep in contact with me.
Whenever, just give me the time to call, and I'll make sure if you want to do more of this, we can do this as much as possible, Mr. Cronenberg. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, ask around what is some of the topics people would like to be heard from your friends, and then maybe we could do a topic in a week or so. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
And in a few days, I guess I'll get back with you.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cronenberg.
Bye-bye. See, these guys really need help. everyone. So if we pull together and just go the extra mile to help one person, we did our job. Have a good day.